to you.
So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Jeffman316 Pop Culture Reporter channel, or just Jeffman316. I just wanted to let you know I'm recording this new intro video in case you're new to the channel. And if you're not, you may hear a lot of things in this video that you already know about me. So let's start off with the obvious one, Jeffman316. Where did that come from? You see it back there, Jeffman316 Live. A lot of times on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll do a watch along. We'll watch along to the movie and you guys can ask me anything you want and we'll chat back and forth. That's kind of cool. But where did Jeffman come from? Well, Jeffman is where it started. I added the 316 later. We'll talk about that now. So Jeffman started because of my love for Batman. Yeah, a lot of you guys already know that. I was a huge fan of Batman 89.
What are you? I'm Batman.
To the point where I saw it multiple times in theaters. And then one of my friends actually said, you like Batman so much, they should call you Jeffman. So it kind of stuck. What did I do? I even bought myself a license plate in the state of Virginia. Jeffman. That's where that started. Where did the 316 come along? Well, you know, I'm a little older than a lot of YouTubers. I remember when everybody was just scrounging around to find a cool name to use for your email address. Jeffman was already taken. I was signed up for Comcast. Well, back then it was called something else, but Comcast, Yahoo, and AOL. And Jeffman had already been taken on a bunch of them. So I said, well, what else do I like? I like wrestling. And so I was a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. And if you know Stone Cold, he's famous for the Austin 316, says I just whipped your ass. So that's where the 316 comes from. So I put Jeffman and 316 together.
Oh, hell yeah!
Two of my loves, Batman and wrestling, were there together for that name. So I'm sorry if you thought it was going to be something cooler than that, but it's not. But that's where the Jeffman316 comes from. So my name is obviously just Jeff. You can call me that. You can call me Jeffman. You can call me Jeffman316, whatever you want to call me. Just come to support the channel. So if you're not familiar with the channel. So what's going on, everybody? Wanted to interject here. This moron's probably going to forget to tell you about a few things. Number one, you might be asking about this hat. What's with this stupid hat he always wears? Well, it's an inspiration from a show that we like. It's The Night Stalker. Darren McGavin starred in it. You might remember that. He was basically a reporter. Always, you know, back in the day, you'd have these old style hats with the word press on it. So, and he's pop culture reporter. So, you know, connect those dots there. And number two, somewhere on the screen, you're going to see a little logo. It's going to look like it's got this hat on. It's going to look like it's got a hockey mask. But it's actually like a hodgepodge of all the things that we like on this channel. Number one, the pop culture reporter. So it's got the press hat. Number two, it's got a lucha style mask on. If you look at the pattern on the front of the face or whatever, it's kind of like a lucha libre mask, the pattern of that. And number three, we like horror, so it looks like, you know, a Jason hockey mask. So you combine all that together and you get a cool little logo that represents Jeffman316. So yeah, he's probably going to forget that, like I said. So dropping it in here. Hopefully you guys are understanding. Either way, let's get back to his rambling. Let's go. You can see a lot of the things that I like. Physical media, horror, that type of thing. But this channel started, and it was called Jeffman316 Customs. And what the customs meant was a lot of what I did at the beginning was related to action figures, specifically wrestling. And I made a lot of custom action figures. I put my very first two shorts on the channel were two retro style action figures that I made. And it was not me saying anything. It was just the figure and some music. The first one actually got copyright claimed, so I ended up having to change the music. But that's where that started. So if you look at my first year on YouTube, I always say it was me just learning how to do YouTube. And it was me not really interacting you guys with a lot of my real passion things other than wrestling figures. So as it went along, I started selling a lot of my action figures to help pay for my other hobby, physical media. I really ramped up when the boutique label started hitting, you know, Arrow Video, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, all those. I was in it from the beginning. So to help pay for that, I sold a lot of my figures. I sold most of the customs that I made. So, but let's talk about that. My passion for physical media kind of overtook things. And as you can see, during that first year and a half or so, things started sliding from the action figures to physical media. And someone asked me, once I started talking about physical media, why are you called Jeffman316 Customs? And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I changed it, and I called it Jeffman316 Pop Culture Reporter. I've shortened it since to just be Jeffman316, but I still consider myself a quote-unquote pop culture reporter because that's what I do. I like to come on here and tell you about things that interest me, pop culture related. And that does include wrestling every now and then. We've done wrestling watch-alongs. I still buy an occasional wrestling action figure. But as you can see, Art the Clown there, Michael Myers there, Halloween Ends there, Halloween 2 there, Jason there. I love horror. So that's always been true. So I'll start there and say my two favorite movies. If you've watched the channel, you probably can guess them. Number one, my all-time favorite movie is the Steven Spielberg classic, Jaws. I love everything about it. The cinematography, the acting, the fact that the shark didn't work, which made Steven Spielberg have to do some creative camera work, creative tricks, change things in the script. I love everything about it, the music, the score, the cinematography. The movie is almost basically perfect to me. A close second is my man Michael Myers there. The original Halloween 1978, same deal. A new director hadn't been in the game very long, John Carpenter. Put all effort in, very creative, had to create some different camera angles and shots and stuff to do the POV stuff. The music was amazing. He did the music obviously himself instead of John Williams and Jaws, but I love everything about it. So that's a close second. So after that, it's a free-for-all, man. I love every kind of movies other than, I don't like a lot of musicals and I don't like a lot of westerns, but my favorite movies are usually horror related. I love John Carpenter's The Thing, or basically anything John Carpenter did. So a lot of the stuff that I like is horror related. My favorite movie includes Halloween, but I would say my favorite franchise is probably Friday the 13th. If I'm going to watch a marathon of those movies, I love the first 8 of those. There's good aspects even about the crappy ones, like Jason Takes Manhattan. But I do like, Halloween. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is pretty good. I always tell everybody I'm not as big of a Freddy fan as I am of just the character. The movies, not so much. I love the first one. I love the third one. And the rest of them go way downhill from there. They're not as enjoyable to me. I like the scarier version of Freddy, but I digress. As you can see, I really love horror, so there's a lot of horror content on the channel. I concentrated on Terrifier a lot, but if I had to tell you horror related, what you should, to see kind of like my personality and the little funny clips and stuff I do, check out my Halloween. I did a review series with a bunch of guys on the internet. It was called the Hallow Scream series, I think. I did a review for every single movie in the franchise. I did a ranking. Watch that Hallow Scream series of videos. I tried to be creative with the intros and do some... I was learning how to do green screen. I was learning how to edit. So it's a little raw and rough, but I think it shows my personality. Then on the side of that, I also like fan films. So it's kind of like parallel to the regular ones. So I've met a lot of people once I started digging into fan films online, and then that kind of took me off the path even farther, where I started really liking a lot of independent, low budget, micro budget movies. Maybe it's because, movies these days are not very creative, and I saw how creative these guys were getting, and let me meet people in the community like Peter Anthony, who made Rosebud, a Friday the 13th fan film. He's going to make another motion picture as well. Let me meet Jason Pitts. I love, there's a couple of his movies that I cover on the channel. I do reviews of those. You should go back and check those out. Did an interview with both of those guys. I even try to incorporate other YouTubers when I can. My schedule is a little busier than theirs. Every year I do a Jeffy Awards. So for like, I think at least the last 3 years, I do my end of the year awards. Those are good videos you could watch to kind of see what I like and my style. You could come over and watch some of the live streams, or you could watch some of the previous ones. So there's also a lot of Art the Clown content. Now I will tell you this, there was a lot of Halloween Ends content on there. I shit on that movie, I'll go ahead and tell you.
That is one big pile of shit.
The concept I still don't think is great, but after watching it I really liked what they did, and it's grown on me. I like the movie. Yeah. And so you can see there, I also try to mix in some clips. So what I do is I always, when I'm talking or watching a movie, something triggers usually a memory about movies. I've been watching them so long to the point to where I in my mind think of movie clips. So I like to include that in some of my hunt videos and other videos where I'll just throw random funny bits out there. Now, some of that came also, I noticed that Family Guy used to do that. They don't know that they do it as much as they used to, but I like that. So with that being said, let's end this by telling you I'm not like an expert on movies. I have been a movie fan ever since they started releasing physical media. Let me show you something. Some of you guys may not even know what this is. Do you know what this is? It is the RCA video disc release of Jaws. So that was the first, my first time that I put my toe in the physical media world. My father and I would rent those, and we started buying those. Obviously, when we went from there to VHS, and from VHS to DVD, and DVD to Blu-ray, and a little bit of HD DVD in there, and then from Blu-ray obviously to 4K, and you never know what you're going to get. In the middle of that, I did dabble a little bit in Laserdisc. I don't talk about that much on the channel, but I'm a big proponent. I want the movie to look exactly the way it was made. If it was widescreen, I can't stand pan and scan videos, so I used to buy a lot of Laserdisc for that. I also like to movies to be uncut, so like I own Scream still on Laserdisc. I think it's the only way you can get that uncut. But the last thing I'll say is I'm a big physical media advocate. There's a couple of videos on the channel you can watch related to that, and it's because I want it preserved. I hate censorship, like what they've tried to do with movies on Disney Plus sometimes. I hate when movies are altered from the way the directors really wanted them, like studios butchering movies. I hate the fact that things are going digital and they can control what we watch, where we watch it, how we watch it, when we can watch it, because sometimes it just drops off of a digital service. I love physical media, and that because you can own it and it's always yours, and it's preserved to be exactly the way that it was intended to be released. So go back and watch some of those videos. I do a lot of rant videos on here when I don't like, I hate things like Amazon packaging. When, like I said, when movies are edited. Stuff like that, go back and watch some of those funny rant videos. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a lot in there. People obviously, a lot of times in the comments are like, chill out, man. It's not that big of a deal. I know that. It's physical media, but it's fun. And that's what I'll leave you with. I try to have fun here. So every time that you watch one of my videos, please consider subscribing. And if you have subscribed, I appreciate it. But what you need to do is you need to acknowledge my videos.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, acknowledge me by subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, do all the normal YouTube stuff. I really appreciate everybody that supports me any way you can. I want to interact with you, so anything you can do to support the channel, even if it's just watching and liking, that's what I'll appreciate the most, is spreading the word so we can get this channel growing. I appreciate you listening to me ramble. I'm sorry it took so long, but I wanted to make sure that everybody knew who I was, what I stood for. I really do appreciate anybody that supports me, and let's have fun together talking about physical media, talking about movies, talking about anything pop culture related. So until next time, boys and girls, this has been Jeffman316. As always, I'm your pop culture reporter, and I'm signing out saying you guys be safe out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, 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 very much.